Hey family, welcome back to Imani Invests. I want to start with a number that should stop you in your tracks, $300,000. If you had put that amount into a simple S&P 500 index fund back in January of 1995 and just walked away, it would be worth over $5.4 million today. You didn't need to pick the perfect stock. You didn't need to trade crypto, and you didn't need a fancy broker. You just needed 30 years and the 10% average annual return that the American stock market has delivered for over a century. The person who did absolutely nothing ended up beating 93% of the professional experts, who get paid millions to trade. So, the question we need to answer today isn't how to invest. We already know the answer is a simple index fund. The real question is, why do so many people set this up correctly, watch it start to work, and then burn it all down before they reach the finish line? I want you to hold one specific image in your mind throughout this video. The second employee, for the first 10 or 15 years of your investing journey, you are the only one working. You re-saving, you re-sacrificing, and honestly, the progress feels insultingly slow. It feels like pushing a boulder uphill. But once you hit a certain threshold, usually around $200,000 to $300,000, a second employee walks into the room and starts working alongside you. This employee never sleeps, never takes a sick day, and never asks for a raise. This employee is your compounded interest. By the time you reach year 25 of your 30-year plan, this second employee is outworking you by a mile. He is bringing in more money every year than you ever contributed from your own paycheck. Every major financial mistake I've ever seen people make comes down to one thing. They fire that second employee right before he was about to start doing the heavy lifting. Let's look at the actual math, because I want you to feel how this journey progresses. If you are 30 years old and you start putting $800 a month into a fund like VU, earning a historical 10% return, here is what happens. After 10 years, you put in $96,000. But your balance is only about $160,000. $2,000 you haven't even doubled your money yet. You see your friends buying houses or cars, and you feel like you're falling behind. But you aren't behind, your second employee just hasn't clocked in yet. By year 20, that same $800 a month has grown to over $600,000. Now, the market has added over $400,000 to your pile, more than double what you put in yourself. That's the second employee finally pulling his weight. But the real explosion happens in that last decade. Between year 20 and year 30, your portfolio grows by more than $1.2 million. That one decade generates more wealth than the first 20 years combined. This is the beauty of exponential growth. By year 25, your pile is over $1 million, and 10% of that is $100,000 a year. Likely more than your entire salary when you started. I think about a story I heard about a retired school teacher. She spent 35 years contributing a fixed percentage of her salary into a retirement account, and then she just forgot about it. She didn't check the market in 2001 or 2008. When she finally looked in 2012, she had over $1.2 million on a teacher's salary. She didn't win because she was a genius. She won because she accidentally avoided the 3 failure modes that destroy most people's retirement. The first failure mode is what I call the behavioral tax. Most of us aren't as emotionally distant as that teacher. We watch the news, we see the red numbers, and we get scared. Research from Dalbar shows that while the S&P 500 returned about 10.2% over the last 20 years, the average investor only captured about 6.8%. Why? Because they bought when they were excited and sold when they were terrified. That 3.4% gap might not sound like much, but on a $300,000 base, it is the difference between retiring with $2 million or retiring with $1 million. That is $1 million. Fear tax. This is why I created my own guide, the Imani Wealth Exit Code. I built it because I realized that most retirement advice stops at save money, but it never tells you how to actually leave the workforce without fear. Most rules, like the 4% withdrawal rule, have hidden risks that no one talks about. My guide gives you a real mathematical framework for your exit date, and you can find the link in the description. The second failure mode is hidden fees. In phase 1 of your journey, fees look small. If you have $16,000 and your advisor charges 1%, that's only $160. You don't feel it. But as your second employee gets to work and your pile grows, those fees become a monster. A 1% advisor fee combined with 0.5% in fund fees can cost you $500,000 over your lifetime. You are literally handing over $500,000 to someone to manage a portfolio that requires almost no management. If your primary strategy is to buy and hold, you shouldn't be paying someone a percentage of your life's work to just watch it grow. The third failure mode is sequence of returns risk. This is the one that catches people right at the finish line. Imagine two investors with the same $1 million balance. Investor retires and the market crashes 30% in his first 2 years. He is forced to sell his shares at the bottom to pay for food and rent. He is firing his second employee at the worst possible time, and he runs out of money in 15 years. Investor B retires, and the crash doesn't happen until his late 80s. He dies with more money than he started with. The only difference was the timing of the bad years. This is why you need a cash buffer. In the 3 to 5 years before you retire, you need to build up 1 to 2 years of living expenses in a safe, boring savings account. If the market crashes the year you retire, you live off that cash and let the second employee recover. You don't sell your workers when they are down. I want you to look at Marcus. He's 42, has 180,000 saved, and he's frustrated because it feels too slow. He's looking for faster investments like individual stocks or real estate. But Marcus is missing the point. He is in the most critical decade of his life. He is right at the edge of the curve where the growth becomes violent. If he introduces complexity and fees now, he risks breaking the machine right before it starts producing real power. On the other hand, look at Claire. She is 38, making 95,000 and has 220,000 in simple index funds. If she does absolutely nothing else but keep her current habit, she is on track for $2.6 million by age 65. She does need a secret strategy. She just needs to not undo the work she's already done. So, here is your action plan for today. Get your fees under 0.2%. If you are paying 1% or more, you are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Check your expense ratios today. Build an interference calendar. Every time you feel the urge to sell or do something, because the market is down, write it down and wait 72 hours. Most of our worst financial decisions are made in the heat of a moment. Plan your buffer. If you are within 5 years of retirement, start moving some of that money into a safe place so you never have to sell your shares during a market crash. Lazy investing has built more millionaires than any hot stock tip or crypto meme ever will. The second employee is ready to work for you, but you have to give him the time and the tools to do his job. This is Imani reminding you that wealth is built step by step, and your only job is to stay out of the way. If this blessed you, hit that like button, subscribe to our family, and share this with someone who is feeling frustrated with their slow progress. I'll see you in the next one.